Welcome to the resume to jobs comparison tool for Job-Squid. Here I'm going to go through some documentation on how to use this tool. Okay, so this is recording 2 for me. Found a glitch. So we're going to start with an old resume. We're going to start with breaking this down by sections. Okay, so I've got the summary up at the top. Nothing exciting. This is a really old version of my resume. And I'm going to name it resume. Naming really doesn't matter other than, you have to have enough characters and it'll warn you if you don't. So you could do something like old resume, it doesn't matter. Just remember as you put it in up here, it will sort them. Okay, so you'll have it sorted by the naming you put in. I'm going to paste that first part of my resume detail in here. And if you use double hashtags, this is a summary. Okay, the double hashtag is the comments. So in this case, I don't want the word summary to be picked up on. You can name it whatever you want, but you have that ability to add comments into your resume without it being added into the comparison. We'll talk about the comparisons here in a minute. The tech proficiencies here, this is a table, so it gets a little weird when I paste it in, but we'll fix that. Okay, and so that goes something like that. And then this is, let's say, skills. Okay, nothing fancy so far. And we'll come down here and I'm just going to grab a couple of jobs. Okay, I might grab my last 2. The resume is really long. I used to be a teacher for those that don't know. And there's a lot in there. So we'll say career stuff there. I don't care what it looks like. I don't need the bullets. I don't need the that kind of stuff. When you put it back over, you'll have to fix things and then make it look pretty again. But this gives you that match, right? If there's something in here you need to fix that one part, copy paste it over. So with a title on that and this information in, I'm going to save. Okay. So we now have that old resume that I can go back to at any time. Lights up yellow to tell you that it's one of your saved resumes that you clicked on. Okay. So let's say I want to take a more recent resume. Good. And I can spell. And I'm going to delete all that out. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to close it. I'm going to close this one out once I have that. And this is a more recent that leading edge is put together. We're going to grab about the same amount of information. But a summary here. I really haven't looked at this. And I'm only doing the caps there because I feel like it. You can label these. You can do these however you want. And you can see they have weird line breaks in there that I don't want to fix. Okay. This is kind of a blunt tool. So you may have to fix a few things in your layouts and your designs on those resumes. But the point here is to catch the words, to catch the content. Okay. So on my current job with Leading Edge, I'm a senior solutions developer too. So I'm going to copy all this down. I've worked with multiple companies on my job, and I'm going to cover that front end engineer one that I had with Select Sires as well. So I'm going to copy this. And I'm going to come back over here and job. Okay, and this resume is very minimal in terms of what we have on it. I'm not too critical about dates and things like this, but get the core of the resume here. And again, we want to save this one. So the idea being now, I have 2 saved resumes. I might have 3 or 4 or 5 or 10. I don't care how many you put in. That's up for you to decide. I've got those 2 in. All right, so if I'm job searching, I'm out here and I'm using something like this search pattern, and I've talked to a few of you about the search pattern. If I haven't, feel free to reach out to me, and we can talk about that. The link to my email my Code Squid email will be somewhere on the page. If you have issues with the application, if you want to set up a coffee chat, reach out. Okay. We basically are searching job boards. I'm searching job boards for front-end developer, front-end engineer, with a hyphen, without a hyphen, and remote. And I grabbed a couple of them. You can kind of see on here as I went down. I've hit a few because I wanted to find a few that kind of met the examples we're looking for. I don't really care what company. Okay, this is for you guys to get the example. So here I took this one. I don't get too deep into the details, but really what I'm looking at is about the role, what you're doing, who you are. I don't really care about their perspective in the company in terms of what I'm doing with this tool. you want to get enough of it. I could have copied the whole page. It doesn't matter. But I'm going to copy that core piece. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here. There's no way to save these jobs at this point. Okay. I'll paste that in and there it goes. Sorry, it took a second. I took the mouse up to catch that. And this again, it's breaking oddly, but that might be because of bullets. I don't care about that. There's odd spacing here. Really don't care too much about that, right? I mean, just the idea is we want to compare words. Okay. And so if I take one of these resumes, I can run a comparison against the words that we have on each and see how they can actually line up. So when I open one of these up, it actually ran the comparison. If I had a resume open and I put a job in, I have to manually click the resume button. It doesn't watch for that drop of the job that pays to the job. But I can see here, I've got a whole bunch of words that's matching. These green ones are matching, right? Application, data, extensive, front end, integration. Okay, good stuff. All right. 5+. I want to find out what that's about. APIs. Okay, I need to have APIs on my somewhere. Background based. I mean, some of these are words I'm not too worried about. Beautiful. Okay. And as you use the tool, you can improve things. Okay, so if I were to come in here and say, I'm not really worried in most cases about the word beautiful. I've got a word list that's available. Okay, so this word list says, hey, when I do a comparison, skip these words, right? So I can say, beautiful. Okay. Down here, I can see on the bottom, we got the word drag and drop, right? Might want to drop those off. I don't know. Existing uh, expertise, right? So I just add a few. Now these are on my version. All data is saved locally. So the base list will always be there for you. Your additions will only be there for you on that machine. Only saving local. I don't want your data. Okay, I don't want your resumes. I don't want the jobs you're applying for. Okay, I'm going to save that. I would have to rerun the comparison for those to drop off, right? But what I'm doing is what I'm going to be looking for is what are the ones in here that I really think I need, right? What I really need are things like, hey, maybe components is one that I want on there somewhere, right? So let's come over here on this resume and I'm going to put in some of the words I need to add. And so maybe it's something like, maybe instead of doing that, I'll comment, right? Need to add these. Components is one. Cypress, there's a good one. No front end. Cypress is one of those big tools out there. Yeah, but it's not. There we go. No, please don't tell Cypress that I'm really bad at that. And I see engineer and engineers, so I need to have those somewhere. There's always this discussion over engineers versus engineering, and are we developers? Are we engineers? Engineers is a pretty particular type of degree in many cases. But the thing is, if my jobs are listed as senior solution developer, maybe I need senior software engineer, right? That then picks up those keywords that are needed for this particular job, right? There are a lot of words in here that I can throw onto my list, and this is going to get better and better as you go through jobs at picking up those ones that you don't want. Hey, there's Git. I see German. Ooh, that might be one that throws me out of it, right? I don't speak German. I might want to check the job to see if it's on there somewhere, right? Hooks, high performance, that's related to React. We see JavaScript, TypeScript with a slash in there. I want it the same way, right? Let's see, what else do we have? We have ownership, we have Redux, there's a good one. We have, I could be smart about it. Redux, Tailwind, Svelte. Redux, Tailwind, Svelte. All right. And come back down to the bottom again. Just quick, SaaS. And there are a couple of things I might want to add in. All right. So software as a service, SaaS. Now, with the comments on here, if I were to rerun my comparison, if we looked at components, right? Components was right there. I'm still not going to see it because remember, comment, it's taking it out. As soon as I take that off that row, and I run that comparison, we should see those get added up here. So there's components that got brought forward. So as I look at this, this is the way I would be looking at this tool. I put in variants on my resume. So this was based off my old resume, not off my recent resume. Um, and maybe I make this an old resume too, or something like that, right? Notice it changed white. It's no longer one of my saved resumes, and I'm going to save. Okay, now I don't have a comparison because I don't have a resume opened. Let's open one of these up. And now we're at 19% on that. So if I were putting in a new job, let's try that. Okay, I'm going to come over here. I've got this front engineer. I'm not sure who they're for, company, position overview. Let's look at the position overview. Let's copy from that. Skills and expertise, any bonuses that you might be able to bring to the job. That's a good one to bring over. We'll copy that. And I don't know what this is going to look like. Honestly, I have not run these before. This is all for your demo. And I paste that in. And remember, job, you have to click. I'm going to click that run. Now, I got a much better match here. Okay, recent resume is at 21% matched with old resume 2. So now I can come down in and I can start knocking out some words, and or. Let's take that and add that to our list. Architecture. Well, I deal with architecture, so maybe I need to add that in some way. Uh, automated, AWS. Maybe I add some of those to my resume. But my point here is what you saw earlier with that other job was we had lower numbers in some of them. Okay, so when I look at this, if I've got 10 resumes, as I start to tweak and adjust, as I start to submit for jobs with these adjusted resumes, find the one that's the best fit. Base them off of your current, okay? And find the one that's the best fit. Oh, and I got to figure out where the Job-Squid.com logo is hanging out up there. I'll fix that before you guys see it. Okay, it's okay for the documentation. It won't hurt anything at this point, but I will fix that. The idea is to give you that capacity to compare. We can delete resumes. That's what the X is for here. Okay. It's right on the X. Yes, you have a gray box that's going to actually select over here. I find that small flaw. I'm leaving it for now. Okay. On the page, things we not change that word list, and probably early on you're going to add more. And if occasionally somebody wants to send me their added list of reserve, or maybe just send me your whole list, and I'll merge those in so we get a better base for folks down the road. You do have import and export. Okay, so we can export this resume set, and it's going to save it to a file. Okay, this is all saved on your local machine. I'm absolutely okay with that. If you're one of those like me and you've lost data before, this is a way to back it up, move it off your machine somewhere that if worst case happened, you still have that data. Okay. When you get the job, probably a good idea to back up all your resumes, right? And because you will need to, you probably will want to clean out as you start the next one and have that data around just in case. Okay. These will all be in lowercase over here. I don't think the case matters too much. This is not AI by any stretch. This is a simple keyword matching and patterning, right? If full stack is spelled differently between one resume and the other, I need to know that as I'm building my resume. Okay, there are other applications over here. You're welcome to look at that, but the core functionality is here, here, and here. There really isn't much more to it. This is for you guys. I hope it works out. There will be documentation there on how you can report issues, and I'll eventually have a frequently asked questions out there. Okay.